Hi, I'm Tom Scherschel, and I'm here today to show you how you can add interactivity to your lessons by using the new Smart Notebook 11 software. And specifically, you're going to learn how to create hide and reveal activities. I'm going to show you several techniques for revealing information, including move and reveal, order and reveal, and erase and reveal. We're going to do that by using this example of Egyptian history. And let's say we want to pose this question to students: where is Tutankhamun's tomb? Well, I can reveal that information several ways. I can move and reveal to show the answer to the Valley of the Kings. I can order and reveal to show the same answer. And again, I can erase and reveal. So what I'd like to do is walk you through each of these three processes step by step so you can use these techniques in your own lesson creation. And we're going to start with example of move and reveal. Remember, move and reveal is simply moving one object from another so you can show the answer. I want to start out with the text. I can put that text in a couple of ways. I can go to my computer and I can type it in, or I can go to the on-screen keyboard that's located from the pen tray. There are two buttons in the very middle in the front. The left-hand button has an icon of a keyboard on it, so I'm going to click on that. That opens up the on-screen keyboard, and then I'm just going to type in my text, the Valley of the Kings. So I'm going to start by shifting the Valley, space of space, the space, Kings. Okay, before we move on, I need to make a little disclaimer here. There's some unexpected behavior. My on-screen keyboard sometimes puts in capital letters when it shouldn't. We're just going to sort of ignore that and move on. I'm finished now with my on-screen keyboard, so I can close that out by clicking on the red button in the upper left-hand corner. I've created an object here now with this text, and I know it's an object because it has a dashed blue border all the way around it. It has a rotation handle here in the middle, this green knob. I can rotate it 360 degrees in any direction. It has a resize handle in the bottom right-hand corner, so I can change the size of it. And it also has a drop-down menu here that lets me manipulate the object in several ways. It's a little arrow in the upper right-hand corner. Okay. Now, when I'm looking at this, I can see that the font is wrong. And that's because the default font on my notebook software is Comic Sans. I teach elementary school. It's really a nice, easy font for students to read. The lowercase a is very similar to the lowercase a that they learn how to write in primary grades, so I use this font all the time. I need to change it though. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go up to the contextual panel up here to the font family drop-down menu. I'm going to choose that. I know from experience this is Arial, so I'm going to scroll up till I find Arial and choose that. Changes the type style. I need to change the size. This is about 22 point, this example. So I'm going to go back up to the contextual panel to the font size drop-down menu, choose 22 point. So now I'm finished with my text. Now I need to create the box to hide it. To do that, I'm going to go up to the tool panel, click on the second icon, which is shapes. It opens up all these different options in the contextual panel. I'm going to choose the third one over, which is the rectangle. And now I can create that by using a pen or my finger. And I'm just going to keep my finger on the board and sort of trace around it till I get the size I want and release. Now an important step I need to remember every time is to go back up to the tool panel, click on the select tool arrow to close out that function. Next thing is I need to add color to it. I do that through properties, and I can do that several ways. I can go up to the contextual panel up here. I can go to the object itself, to the drop-down menu, and I can go all the way down to properties and choose that, and it brings up the properties over here. My preferred way of doing it, and it's just, again, preference, is to use the side tabs over here. I'm going to go 4 tabs down to the properties tab and choose that. The first thing I need to do is fill effects, and I've got different options for that. I can see this is a solid fill, so I'm going to choose the second option here. That opens up this color palette, and I'm going to choose the wrong color on purpose because I want to show you a little trick. If you go back to the color panel here, and down in the lower left-hand corner, there's a little eyedropper, ink dropper here. If you choose that, it opens up what looks like a magnifying glass. Now the very next thing that I touch, this object that's highlighted will turn that same color. So I can click anywhere inside here, and you can see it turned the same color of red. The next thing I need to do is change the border. And I do that by the second option down, line style, so I'm going to click that. I don't have to worry about the thickness because it's the correct thickness, but I do have to change the color. So I'm going to go to the color palette, choose the light red, and I think we got it. So that's an example of move and reveal. Let's move on to the next one, which is order and reveal, which is a little bit different. This one, I'm putting one object on top of another. If the order is correct, it will reveal the answer. So let's see how we do that. Because I've already shown you how to use the on-screen keyboard and also how to create the shape in the tool panel, I'm just going to clone these objects, which is something you need to know anyway. So there are actually three objects here. There is this box, the dash box here, and also the type that we can't see. I'm going to clone these two objects together. So I'm going to do that by doing a marquee select, upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to grab both of them at the same time. I can see I have two objects now. It doesn't matter which one I click on. I can click on the drop-down menu, and the first object is cloned. So I'm going to clone it. So I made an exact duplicate of both of those, and I'm just going to drag them down here where I can use them. I need to do the same thing with this box, so I'm going to turn it into an object. Drop-down menu, first item is clone it, and I'm going to move it down here to see if it worked. Problem is, it didn't. I can't see the type underneath. This is where the order comes in. I'm going to go back to the object, I'm going to select it, drop-down menu. If I go about 2/3 of the way down to order, what I want to do is send this to the back so the type shows up in the front. So I'm going to send to back, and now when I move it down, it reveals the answer. So that's order and reveal. And finally, this is one of my favorite ones because the kids get so excited about it. It's called erase and reveal, and it's just like magic to them. Really easy to do. All I'm doing is sort of painting over an ink layer on top of this text to hide it and then erasing it. So to do that, I'm going to go up to the tool panel. I'm going to click on the pen icon. It opens up this contextual panel. I can choose any pen I want to. I need to change the properties. So again, I'm going to go to the side tabs, the fourth tab down to properties. I want a broad brush stroke, so I'm going to choose the broadest one. Because the background is white, I need to choose white ink. And then I can either use a pen or just my finger, and I can just paint over it like that. Now again, I need to go back up to the tool panel to the select tool to close out that function. Now I can check it either by going back to the tool panel and using the eraser, or using the eraser from the pen tray. Valley of the Kings. So again, that's a really, really fun example of reveal. It's called erase and reveal. Now what I want to do is show you a personal example that I like to use of move and reveal. And I like to use this in ELD lessons. It's really very effective because it gives me a chance to attach a vocabulary word to a picture, but not to reveal that until I'm ready. All I have to do is drag it over to a colored box like this to reveal the answer. I like to use this. My students have started creating their own vocabulary exercises using this, so they have a lot of fun with it as well. It's really easy to do. Let me show you how. There's not a lot of room here to work, so what I want to do is create a second page by dual paging. So I'm going to go up to the action panel up here. I'm going to go to the dual page icon. I'm going to click on that. Then I need to page forward one page. So the second arrow all the way at the bottom over here is a forward arrow that allows me to move forward one page. And now I have two pages side by side. My example is over here. The recreation is going to be over here. So I want to start by, again, to save a little time, I'm just going to clone this box. turning it into an object, choosing clone. It created a clone, and now all I have to do is just drag it over to the page over here. Now, the next thing I can do, I could also do the same thing with the image and the type, but I want to show you how I got the image. You can get images lots of ways. You could do a Google search, for example. I like to use a library that's built into the notebook software whenever I can, because it's easy to search, number one, and number two, it's copyright free, so you don't have to worry about any of those issues. To access that, you go over to the side tabs, to the gallery tab, which is the second one down, choose that, and it says type search terms here. So I need to go back to my on-screen keyboard. Again, that's in the pen tray, the left-hand button with the icon of a keyboard. I'm going to open that up and just type in frog. And I'm going to need this in a minute, I know, so I'm going to put it over here out of the way. I've got frog up here now. I have to search. To do that, I'm going to go to the second icon, which looks like a magnifying glass, and it's going to bring up all these different options. You can see there are actually 21 pictures related to frogs. I had just chosen the first one here. I can put that into my lesson a couple of ways. I can highlight it. I can do the drop-down menu, choose the first answer or option, insert in notebook. It actually put it over on this page, but again, no problem, because I can simply drag and drop it over to this page. The other option is to go back to that, and I can highlight it, and I can simply drag and drop it that way. Now I don't need both of these, so I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm just going to click on it, turn it into an object, do the drop-down menu. The fifth option down is delete. I'm going to choose that, and it gets rid of it. Okay, a couple more steps. We need to do the type, the vocabulary word. So again, I'm going to go back to my on-screen keyboard, and I'm going to type in frog. I can close this out now by clicking on the red upper left-hand button. I'm going to bring it over here closer to the image. Couple steps left. This is white type, this is black, so I need to change that. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go up to the contextual panel to the color options here, and I'm going to choose white. I want it the same color as the background to hide it. And now you can see it's still an object, but it looks like it's hidden, just simply because it's the same color as the background. The last thing I need to do, I want the type and the image to move together. So I need to do something called grouping. So I'm going to do, again, a marquee select, upper left-hand corner around the objects, until I grab both objects together. Doesn't matter which drop-down menu I use. I'm going to go about 2/3 of the way down to grouping, and then choose group, and it turned it from 2 objects into 1. Okay? So that's called move and reveal, my personal example that I use all the time creating lessons. So I'm going to go back to the single page by using the icon up here in the action panel, and kind of wrap things up here by discussing creating hiding and reveal activities, and why would you want to hide information before talking about it? I can think of a couple of reasons. Number one, you would want to do it to assess prior knowledge, to see what you're going to have to front load for your lesson. You could also use it to stimulate curiosity, and trust me, it does. The kids get so excited when they come up. They want to see what's behind that box, what's hidden behind there. Which kind of leads to the last example, a reason you'd want to use it, to increase student engagement. I think anytime it's appropriate, when you can add technology, and specifically interactivity in technology, to your lessons, it just makes them so much more engaging. It touches all the different learning modalities, the tactile touching. If you add sound, it adds the auditory aspect. Obviously, there's a lot of visual stimulation. It's just really exciting and engaging, and it makes students want to learn. So just to kind of wrap up, today you learned how to create hide and reveal activities. You've learned several techniques for revealing information. You learned how to move and reveal, how to order and reveal, how to erase and reveal. Pretty revealing, huh? Bad joke. Thanks.